Hi, I'm Lisa Pope and I'm from Guitarist TV and I'm here today on Avon Beach with Mark the Jager.
Hello.
Hello,
How are you? It feels strange to be on this side of the fence for a change.
It's good, it's about time really, it's about time you were that side. So how are you doing today?
A little bit chilly on the beach.
Yes.
But it's quite pleasant. It's different, isn't it?
It is different, it's different.
Different from sitting in a studio with lights and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. It's a bit windy.
A bit windy.
But hey.
Are you alright? Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yes.
I'm fine. It's a bit chilly. I'm not used to this cold. Hey, what can you do? We're here today and we're here to see you play a few songs, possibly.
I'm going to play a few songs. Mwah!
He's going to play for us. Excellent. Okay.
This question for 20 points.
Yes, this question for 20 points. Mark, you and I go way back.
Yeah.
Way back to the late 1990s, I think it was. And way back to cave rock days. But your music started long before then.
Yeah.
Tell us how you first started.
What
did you get involved in?
Okay, well, it all started. When I started playing guitar probably around when I was 12, 13, somewhere around there, and almost joined the band from day one. And most of my younger life was spent playing in pubs, clubs, and playing covers, really, just in pubs. And then one day, played with various bands, lots of different bands, and hooked up with a guy called Cecil Justa, CJ. And
that name rings a bell.
It rings a bell, yes. CJ was still has a terrific voice and a great drummer. And we formed a band called Riff Raff, and we did quite well, playing weddings and bar mitzvahs and corporate functions, and also doing some pubs, a couple of pub gigs and that, until one day CJ asked me, he said it'd be a good idea if we started our own pub. And that's how it all started, really, because from that point on it started, the thinking kept going and all that, and we did some numbers and we thought, well, it's possible, So we, cut a long story short, we designed and built Cave Rock in 1993. We opened in September 93, and then after we'd opened the pub, CJ and I obviously played at the venue, and there were all these lovely people from the Bluff which came down and supported us and really looked after us. And I remember one day working in the pub, and we were desperate for another barman, and we also needed somebody in the restaurant. And your good self,
that's me,
came into the pub one day, and you guys had just come back from Italy.
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
Yes.
And that's how the ball got rolling, because you basically you worked in the restaurant, and Richard worked in the pub. Yes. And I remember one day coming into Cave Rock and saying, "Hey, Lisa, what's that music you got playing?" And you said, "Oh, it's a band called Thunder." Remember?
Oh yes, Thunder.
Yes. And I thought, wow, this is fantastic. I'd never heard such great music. Thunder, an English band, and they were like really top of the tree in those days. And it's just funny how the world works out. Now we're living in England, and of course I've seen Thunder many times and interviewed the guys. And it's just funny how the whole circle goes
comes around again. Yes.
Anyway, so that's how we met, and then we sold Cave Rock, and then in 2001 came to England. And of course I knew nobody in the music industry, had no contact, had my guitar, well not this guitar, but the Fender Strat, and my amplifier. And the first audition I auditioned for a band called the Bo Dudley Blues Band, and because I didn't have a car, I didn't get the gig.
Oh, damn. That's a bit of a bummer.
Yes, I probably wasn't the best blues player in the world at that point anyway, and I'm probably still not, but blues is not really my bag. But it was a really nice band. Anyway, I did join a cover band, which I was sort of more used to, and we did pubs and we did working men's clubs for about 2 or 3 years, because we were sort of based in the Black Country in Wolverhampton. Up the Wolves. And that band was called Easy.
Okay.
And they were a great bunch of lads. I worked with a guy called Max who played bass, Max Wollaston, and Barry Willem, who was our drummer, fabulous drummer. And we had a singer, Trevor. He's going to kill me now because I can't remember his surname. Trevor? No. Never mind. Anyway, it'll come to me at some point. But that was the band.
Trevor, you know who you are.
Yes.
Get him later.
Yeah. And we had a really great time. Then I met a guy called Pete Ems, who was a singer-songwriter, bass player, guitarist, composer, and we formed a band called the Vaseline Rats.
Oh yes, yes.
And the Vaseline Rats, well, of course, Pete wrote a lot of songs for that, and over about a year, we made a couple of demos, and then Pete basically funded the making of Intelligent Design, which is a really great CD. Took us about a year to make it because we did sort of one song every month, every time, because Pete having to pay the studio fees and everything.
It's not easy.
No, it was hard. It took a long time, and of course it cost him a lot more for the cover and those kind of things. It does cost a lot of money. Probably, I don't know, around about the £10,000 mark by the time the album was printed and delivered on his doorstep. Okay. So well done, Pete.
Way to go.
Way to go. But from that, I met a guy called Al Atkins, who is the founder member of Judas Priest. He was the vocalist. Yep. He wrote a lot of the songs for Judas Priest in the early days. Great vocalist, great power in his voice, a really good rock singer. And we were invited to play at a couple of shows in the States.
Okay.
So we already had the Vaseline Rats, so basically what we did was we used the Vaseline Rats as Al Atkins' backing band. And we went and we did shows in New York and in Florida, and that was where I met Dennis Stratton.
Aha!
Yeah.
Dennis.
So it all kind of links in now, and also met a guy called Jess Cox, who was the singer for a band called Tigers of Pantang in the 70s, I think. But Dennis and I have remained friends. Of course, Dennis Stratton was the original guitar player for Iron Maiden when they released their debut album, Iron Maiden, and that was in 1979, 1980, I think. And when we got back from the States after touring with Al, some guys in Italy got hold of Dennis and said, you know, can you come and do some stuff in Italy? So he asked me to go with and do the harmony guitar parts for these Maiden songs, and we went and played with a band called the Clairvoyants, who are like a Maiden tribute band, and they were really good. Okay. And a really awesome band. So on the stage in Milan at the Live Club was Clairvoyants and me and Dennis.
Okay, excellent.
So we had 4 guitarists in the lineup.
Yes.
And it was an awesome show. It was like, yeah, really. And of course Dennis was arranging what happened on stage with the guitar players, because everybody had their piece to play.
Okay.
So you just had to be very disciplined and
know your spot.
Know your spot, yes. Yes. Well, it was brilliant. I mean, it was full house, and I don't think I've ever played to so many people in one place in my life.
Playing there?
I was really nervous, honestly. I'll tell you, I walked onto the stage and my hand was really shaking, like, you know, really badly, and I was really struggling to put down the cable in the guitar and all that kind of stuff. But once we got going, then it was brilliant. It was fine. You know, you should kind of relax, because these Italian guys are absolutely awesome.
Yeah,
you know, they absolutely do. And the amazing thing is when you look out on the crowd, you know, the age group of the crowd is probably 20, mid-20s up to 30s. Yeah. You know, some of these fans hadn't been born when Dennis was doing his thing with Iron Maiden. You know.
Good, nice young crowd.
Nice young crowd, and they're really into it.
Not that there's anything wrong with the oldies. No. Let me say that right now. Hey.
Yes, of course.
Excellent. And then where are you now?
Well,
I know you're here on Avon Beach.
Yeah.
Musically, where are you now?
Okay, musically I'm still working with Dennis, and we get the odd invitation to go and play Dennis's maiden tracks.
Okay.
And I think we're going to Bulgaria in July for a weekend. It's part of the new wave of British heavy metal celebrations.
Okay.
It's like
very interesting.
Yeah, it's 30 years. There's Oliver Dawson's saxon on the bill, as well as a fabulous band called Praying Mantis.
Okay, yes.
And Dennis was with the band for 15 years.
Okay.
So I'm really honoured to be on that going with Dennis, because there's some fantastic musicians.
Wow. Will there be loads of people on there, or is it just
it's just the 3 bands. But the show is going to be in Bulgaria is huge. It's a massive show. Okay. They've got full TV coverage. They've got massive billboards right now in Bulgaria with Dennis's pictures, splattered all over the place, and of course Oliver Dawson's saxon and Praying Mantis. So I'm looking forward to that. But this month, in April on the 20th, I fly to South Africa.
Okay.
And I'm going to be working with a fabulous sax player. His name is Andrew Young. Yeah, he's a great musician, and I've known Andrew many years. We go back probably to middle 90s, I think, 92, 93, somewhere around there. When Andrew came to South Africa the first time, he played in the Philharmonic Orchestra.
Oh, wow.
And he formed a band, and we played at a club called Select 21.
I think that's pre-me.
That might be, yes. Now, that was in a very, I wouldn't say dodgy part of Durban, but it was in Point Road, which was probably a dodgy part of Durban in those days.
Yes, I think it was.
But it was a tiny club, it was a live music club. Andrew's band was great, and I was on guitar, and I really enjoyed that. But of course, my work with Riff Raff at that point took me to Cave Rock and beyond. But I still stayed in touch with Andrew, and I'm really glad about that.
Yes.
Because when we go to South Africa now, we're going to be playing at a show called Sax, Blues and Rock and Roll. So I'll be doing the blues and rock and roll bit, well, so will Andrew, and of course Andrew will be playing all his songs. So I have a bit of work to do, quite a lot of songs to learn.
Okay.
We're doing Andrew's songs, and we're doing blues stuff, which includes some songs by Gary Moore.
Oh, very nice.
May he rest in peace.
Yes.
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 And so that I'm really looking forward to that. There's 10 shows in that series, and they're all at the Suncoast Casino on Durban's beachfront.
Okay, very nice. So it's all based in Durban?
All based in Durban, yes,
okay.
yes.
Is there a website that people can get tickets? Or?
If they go to guitarist.tv.com, or even to my website, which is mikejager.co.uk,
yes,
there's all the information they need to know of that. Oh,
guitarist.tv.com and mikejager.co.uk.
Yes, that's the one.
Excellent.
First class, yes.
Wow. Okay.
So that's where I am musically. Of course, Guitarist TV came along in 2001, 2002, and then 2006, Joe Satriani graciously accepted our application for an interview at the Symphony Hall in Birmingham.
Okay.
And we went and interviewed Joe, and that was really the maiden voyage. He basically set us off on the maiden voyage of Guitarist TV.
I mean, you've always spoken about Joe Satriani. That must have been such a buzz.
Oh, jeez. It was quite surreal, I can tell you.
Really?
Because I remember when I was playing at Magoo's Bar on Durban's beachfront.
Yes.
I was playing in the band called LMB.
Okay.
And that was the first time I heard a song called Saj Boogie. And it was a really a great rocker. It was just awesome rocker. And when you've got a room of 200 people jam-packed, and it's party.
Oh wow, must be awesome.
And when you throw that track in the mix, it starts off with a hi-hat, and as soon as they heard that riff, the place would just erupt,
Great.
And it would rock all the way to the end. And of course, I couldn't play it the way Joe played it, because technically he's a brilliant guitar player. But I had to learn it by ear, because it was just one of those things. I probably wasn't doing everything exactly.
Can you do it now?
Vaguely.
Go on, give us a tip.
Well, something to that effect.
Is that all?
My hands are freezing because it's so cold.
You're leaving me hanging.
Oh, I've got a plectrum, I've got nothing. Forgive me, sorry. Sorry, Joe.
You brought the guitar? Excellent.
And so then, of course, that was in the 80s, and then to meet Joe sort of 10 years later in the flesh, and to actually, you know, shake his hand and talk to the guy, it was really quite amazing. I never thought I'd be around to see that kind of thing, you know, or to actually meet any of these guys.
Live your dreams,
yeah.
live your dreams. Yeah. Brilliant.
But that was a fantastic, a really special day for all of us at Guitarist TV. And of course we stay in touch with Joe, and we see him at least once a year when he comes to the UK.
Yeah, oh, great. That's good.
Which is really nice. But recently, you and I have spoken to somebody special too, haven't we?
We did, didn't we? It was awesome too.
Mr. Steve Lukather. Wow.
Yeah. If you're out there, Steve, watching, hi.
Hi, Steve. And of course somebody else was very special who was our first interview, really.
It was our first outing together after a long absence. We'd been apart.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. That was pretty, as you said about Joe Satriani, that was pretty surreal, really. A phone call or an email in the middle of the night, and you said you're interviewing Peter Frampton, and I was just, come on, we've got to do this. We really got to do this. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, it was.
And it was a brilliant venue as well at the Masonic Lodge in London. That was what was the name of the Andaz
Hotel.
Yeah. It was really good.
That was good. I enjoyed that.
It was good. We did Peter Frampton, and he was just such a cool guy.
He was, eh?
He was so down to earth. It was amazing. Yeah. And I don't know what I expected, but he was really cool. He was very nice.
I know. The night before I was listening to his tracks. Well, I'd downloaded the original 76 Frampton Comes Alive on my iPhone, and when I'd drive home from work I'd stick it on and listen to it. And while I'm training in the gym I'd be listening to Peter Frampton, you know, but it just takes you right back to that era, doesn't it? Just straight back. And when you hear the
round of applause, guys, round of applause.
Well, great song, Peter Frampton's song.
Yes, very good. Now while you were doing all that prep, I had no idea what to expect, and I was panicking like a...
Were you really?
Yeah, well, I've never done it before, so I was really, really, really nervous. But as I said to everybody, I've got nothing to lose, might as well just go ahead and go for it. And it turned out to be really great. And I remember standing before we arrived, and you said to me, have you got any questions for Peter Frampton? I was like, what? You've got to be joking, Mike. And you said, well, you can just wing it then. Okay, we'll wing it. Excellent, excellent.
I think he enjoyed it. I think the way we do interviews is really nice, because it's relaxed. We are who we are. We're just normal people like everybody else, and we just want to know certain things. You know, we ask normal questions that average Joe Soap would ask.
We don't really want to know about what colour your pants are, or anything. We just want to know what's influencing you and how you're writing and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, just normal stuff.
Yes, and then our next gig, as we said before, was Steve Lukather, which was also quite surreal.
Surreal, it was,
because we had a quite unusual beginning to that. That was bonkers, really.
We were just sitting in the reception of this pub, and the next minute,
we didn't know where we were going to
film or anything,
no idea.
The next minute, Steve was standing there, wasn't he? He was saying, "Hello, I'm Steve Lukather." Oh my God!
Oh, you are great. Let's have a seat. Yeah, then you started with all the gear. I mean, you guys went into overdrive. I mean, I'm not technical with cameras and stuff like that, and you and Guy and Rob all went into overdrive, setting up everything, and I was like, well, what do? I don't know what to do. And I just ended up sitting next to him. I was like, what am I going to say to this man? I wouldn't know the first thing. And then he started chatting, and then we just hit it off from there. And he ended up staying for an hour and a half, I think. It was great.
It was great.
It was really good.
And
by the end of it, he was like, hey, enjoy hanging with you guys. It was good. It was
I really enjoyed that. It was good. He's such a down-to-earth guy, and you know, for somebody who's done so much in his life as a guitarist, you know, he's played with, you know, some awesome names, you know, Michael Jackson and Olivia Newton-John and
Richard Marx, Randy Crawford,
he's done all this.
Lionel Richie. I mean, that list is goes on and on and on, pages. I was just saying there can't be a person alive who's not been touched by some song of his. I mean, it goes way back to the 70s. Even old parents and stuff must have been touched by his music in some way.
And not even knowing that it's actually Steve Lukather on the album.
Brilliant.
Amazing. Of course, then he went on with Toto, and that was the band that really got, you know, mega famous, and are still famous today, and always will be. You know, and I think that's a massive legacy for any guitarist to have that kind of thing. And of course now he's doing his solo thing, which is, I think is just as good. Really.
I mean, as I said the day, I mean, I'm not his oldest fan, and I'm definitely not his youngest, but I certainly am a new fan.
Yes, of course.
And his music is it varies so
all
much.
The time.
I mean, he's got a little bit of everything, which is really nice. It's really good. But who's next then?
I don't know. We've been asked by our viewers of Guitarist TV, and I've asked the question, who should we be talking to? And we've had Neil Schon from Journey, which of course is a possibility now, because Journey are coming to the UK on the 23rd of June.
Oh, they're playing Wembley?
They're playing Wembley, and they're doing it with Styx and Foreigner. Yes. What
a bill.
So we'll have to have a nice chat to our contacts and see if we can set something up with Neil. It would be fantastic. Neil, if you're watching this, we'd really like to talk to you, mate.
Please.
Please.
That's good. Okay, you said you played with quite a few musicians, some top class ones. Who did you find was most influential?
Most influential.
You can think.
I can think.
You can have a little.
The guitarists that I grew up listening to were Carlos Santana. He was the first guitarist that I really thought was out of this world. I still do. It was Carlos Santana, and then funny enough, Steve Lukather, because he was on albums that I used to listen to, and although I never tried to imitate the way Steve plays or even the way Santana plays by trying to learn the licks or anything like that, it's just that when you listen to all these records, it kind of sinks into your subconscious at some point, and when you're playing, you sometimes you just realize, hang on, I'm playing this riff because I've heard it before, and it filters through to your fingers, and that riff will appear. So that, and then of course Dave Gilmour from Pink Floyd. I've been a huge fan of Dave's for many years. I love the way he plays, because he plays with so much soul and purpose and such tasteful notes when he plays. And really, I've been attracted to those kind of guitar players most of my life. So Santana, Steve Lukather, Larry Carlton also, who is, as we know now, Steve Lukather is very influenced by Larry Carlton's playing. Although I was never a jazz player, I just love the way he plays. He tends to simulate a sax player solo when he plays, and that's sort of kind of sounds like to me. But and I love that. It's so much melody and meaning in his guitar playing. It's lovely. I was then influenced a lot by great rock and roll bands like Status Quo.
Oh yes, okay.
Yes, because I just love the rhythm. Because I just love rhythm, and I love their offbeats and the very first riff that I ever learned was.
Oh, lovely.
And that was taught to me by a guy called Dickie Loader, who was a singer, South African singer, who made it big in the 60s, I think, with some rock and roll stuff, you know. And Dickie is still around these days, but he was my guitar teacher, and he showed me this thing called a funky riff. Put on your red dress, baby, 'cause we're going out tonight. Put on your red dress, baby, 'cause we're going out tonight. Anyway, that's that kind of
Applause,
stuff.
please, everybody. Applause, please.
And that was, so I liked that kind of rhythm, and also with Status Quo they were playing that kind of stuff, down, down, deeper and down,
Yeah.
da, 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 da. I love that. And Pile Driver was the first album that I listened to of Status Quo, and I love that album, and it's influenced me through all my life, yeah,
Okay.
especially on the rhythm side. And then there was Richie Blackmore, Made in Japan was the album, and that was Smoke on the Water, of course.
Of course, yes.
So everybody learned that riff.
Yes.
You know, we all know it. I won't play it.
We do all know
I'll get killed. and from that point onwards, I moved into a little bit of a jazzy era when guitarists like Lee Ritenour or Al Di Meola came along, and they were playing, and Paco de Lucia, and they were playing like nylon string stuff, and amazing guitar players, but really technical stuff. But I did find a guitarist that I really enjoyed, and his name was Earl Klugh.
Okay. What about the future? Who would you like to work with?
Who I'd like to work with.
Who would you like to work with?
Wow, that's a big one.
Yes.
I want to play rhythm guitar in Peter Frampton's band.
Okay.
I want to play second guitarist for Steve Lukather's band.
Okay.
I would love to play in Status Quo, and I'd like to work with Eddie Van Halen.
Okay. That was short and sweet. Very short and sweet.
But whether
You've got your plans set out for you then.
and I would like to do something with David Gilmour as well. Yeah, because you know, he's just right up my street. That's exactly the kind of, I like that atmospheric kind of guitar playing with big keyboards, and you know, I love that kind. I love to do that.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. So now tell me, what have you got playing on your iPod at the moment?
On my iPod is Steve Lukather's All's Well That Ends Well.
Yep.
And the album before that, Never Changing Times. I've got Aerosmith.
Ooh, I like
and like that one.
Aerosmith,
Pink.
Oh,
Dun,
yes,
dun, dun, dun,
yes,
dun. I've got that
yes.
album. I've got Eddie Van Halen's album with Jump on it.
Okay.
I love that song. I just absolutely love it. And I've got all Status Quo songs, all 180 whatever they are.
Okay, so you can choose which one you would like to listen to.
Well, I just doubt my foot's gone to sleep. Hello.
As long as your mouth don't stop
No,
talking,
it
it's
just
okay.
carries on.
Your feet can sleep.
But I've also got Nickelback. I also like
Okay,
Nickelback.
yeah.
I love that band.
There's
who
a
else?
band that you were playing that sounds quite similar to them in the car, a South African band.
Prime Circle.
Okay.
Great band.
Yes.
Very, very good band. I mean, they're a little bit. They are Nickelbackish actually.
Yes, I
Yes,
thought
they
so
are.
when I heard them.
Yeah, a little bit like Just Ginger.
Okay.
Yeah. I auditioned for Just Ginger. Did I
really?
tell you that?
No.
Many years ago, there was a radio DJ. What was his name? He used to do the breakfast. No, not Barney Simon. Darren Scott. Darren Scott was on Springbok Radio.
Okay.
No, he was. Was he Radio 5?
Okay. Yes.
And they were looking for a guitar player, and I phoned in, and he got me to play over the telephone.
Okay.
And he said, "This is an audition for Just Ginger." And of course, I didn't make it, of course, unfortunately.
Aww.
And that was because
Oh, they don't know what they're missing.
we've done enough. Hello.
Hold on, mate. Yeah, what were we saying? Where were we? Yes, that's South African.
That's
band.
okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Maybe you can get them to come out to the UK and do
That'd be
a mini
nice.
tour.
Yeah,
You can get
yeah.
them on Guitarist TV.
TV. All right, if you're listening, we want to see your Guitarist TV, mate.
Yes, definitely. You can come sit on this beach.
Yes.
Check the difference out.
Freeze your bollocks off. Sorry.
Well, that's been a fabulous chat, Mark, really,
Yeah.
on this chilly, windy beach on early April day.
Yes.
Thanks for coming along.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming down.
It's been fabulous to see you.
Yeah.
Listen to a few tunes on the guitar,
Yeah, cool.
and we'll see you again.
Absolutely.
Everybody at Guitarist TV, thanks again. We'll speak to you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.